starting here on 706, we have 12.10, the idea of opening a file for both input and output. And we've already alluded to this earlier in the chapter. Instead of stream, so that's output file, or if stream, that's input file, we have f stream, which is simply a file stream. It comprises both. And we would use the flags iOS in, iOS out. So that marks this file for both input and output. We can do that in the file open as well, so we do not have to do that at the time where we create our fstream object. We can do it when we open that object. So that's really just a new itty-bitty wrinkle on what we've already seen for the if stream and the of stream. And here we can combine that with another flag, so you can see the separator there for our third flag, and that would be binary, so we are marking this file as binary in its output. And all of that is well and good, but let me remind you of a danger that is associated here with doing this, is that a file can be accessed by one and by only one process at a time in most environments, including here in C++. So when you have a file that is open for reading, when you have a file that is open for writing, or here in 12.10, when you have a file that is open for reading and writing, that means that no other processes have access to that file. So that can create chaos and confusion. And remember, that happens in a scale of time much smaller than, what happens when I run away with a file from a filing cabinet. It's the same idea, right? So if I go to the main office, wherever that is, to go get a file, your file, for whatever reason, and I run away with that file, I have the one copy of that file. And if somebody else needs a copy of your file, or to access your file, to put something else in your file, to remove something from your file, they are SOL. They got to wait until I come back. C++ runs in exactly the same way, because we don't know who's opening a file to read it. We don't know who's opening a file to write to it. So we make you wait so that that file operation can be completed. This can lead to chaos because it's not entirely sure when you're going to be done reading to and writing, or reading from and writing to, rather, that file. So that can really hold things up. When a process is held up, that means another process can't continue until then. So it is good programming practice to open a file and to close a file as quickly as possible in is as contained in a space as possible, because in a live environment, you are going to have multiple processes potentially running at the same time, what might need access to that file. Always better to read the contents from the file and do your management than to keep that file open. So read the contents from the file, close it. Do whatever data management you need to do. Open the file, read to it from whatever structure it is that you have, an array or a vector, what have you, and then close that file again. So that way the file is locked as little as possible, which turns out to be, in your favor as a developer.